Larry, what's really standing out to you here? What are you thinking about?
Any rhizomatic connections, anything gurgling underground.
What's a different way to do this?
Interesting to think about, how that's being woven together.
Once you see it and you hear it, you go,
So it's like, so how do we work with that too?
It might be efficacious in the eyes of the people that are receiving the work.
Could you share those with us?
we wanted to gather 3 people for an interview who we think of as elders in the narrative therapy, narrative practice community. We will talk with each other, and then David and Hannah will also be like reflectors on what they're hearing you say. And then we're going to switch places with your reflecting team, and that team will be with all 3 of you. They'll be reflecting.
I've been struggling with feeling sad about Michael passing and people moving on. And then it's something sort of changed where I thought, I've been a mentor to a lot of people, really fortunately, in my life. And I thought, I need a mentor. I need to find a younger person to mentor me into the new ideas that are developing. And this would be a really great place to find one, don't you think?
I've known Marcy since I was 16, and every time, I'm not going to be able to get through this. Every time I hear her talk, I learn something new. I want to be one of the people that is her mentor now. But stepping into that is a both and situation. She's my mama bear, And how am I going to switch? How would I be worthy to switch in that place for her and carry on her legacy? And I want to so greatly. And I need some help.
Apart from Michael's White's voice through his book, was there any life mentor who introduced you to narrative ideas?
No.
Okay.
I did a lot of reading and Googling and just research on my own of trying to find that. And actually, as I was hearing today, I kind of felt a little jealous of Piper and Marianne and everybody, because they had Marcy, and she's so amazing. I was listening to her stories yesterday, and
I'm coming in here. Is it okay?
Hey, that's a good surprise. I
was wondering if I could ask Morgan a question.
Of course.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, when you said I don't have a mentor in the field, and you would really like that, I was just thinking of your grandmother, and before narrative therapy was narrative therapy, it didn't have that name, and so if we took out narrative therapy as the name, in what ways was your grandmother the hummingbird of life, in what ways do you think that you may have mentored with her early on to provide you for the recipe for this work?
Oh, wow! You really brought that in. She knows, because I was talking to her last night about how important my grandmother is in my life, and how she took me on vacation with her all the time growing up. And my grandma is like a little hummingbird, and she goes from person to person, and she talks to everybody she comes in contact with. And so I'd follow her, and I'd be picking up on these stories. I just wanted to know, like what is life like where you're from? Like, what is this? And like, this is my childhood self. She's had so many lived experiences, and she's had an amazing life, and she's passed down those stories to me, and she's passed down the stories from like my ancestry, and like the Native American history is very oral communication based in itself. Yeah, like, I have had that.
I guess that my idea is that it's just a naturally evolving process that you don't always even know is happening until it's happening. That's what I was thinking.
Before, whenever they are saying they're the future, I didn't connect to it. But when I looked at when Martin was talking about that, knowing what to do because of thinking about the future elders, it helped me to connect to my own culture. And now, in a way, I know how it will go, what way I can be here.
I was just thinking about the contribution that a mentor makes and of how their contribution has been so much about their way of being and not so much about them passing along technical knowledges.
David, you saying it to be reminded of a way of being, that this work is a way of being, and that's, I feel like you two have, it's the waves have happened, and I just feel like I have been Mama Bear today, and I step into that, and then like I feel like a mentee of you. It's not having to do this like big outrageous thing, but just showing up and being there in a presence and an intention. Morgan, you just shine genuineness. Like you just make me just smile and like feel happy and excited about the work again, and like I don't feel stress anymore to like because somehow I have to like go into my mentor's shoes, but like I just keep showing up, and that's the magic,
Hummingbird medicine is really powerful. Hummingbirds are almost indestructible, but you wouldn't know it. They can survive a hurricane. Hummingbirds, the only vulnerability is that they must fuel, and they must fuel often. And Stephen and I were talking about how part of our responsibility is to provide fuel. And I'm up for it. I'm up for it. You're flying. I can feed you.
I would